Hello students, how are you all? Hope you all are keeping good. Today we are going to study Long Walk to Freedom by Nelson Mandela. But before we proceed, let's have a quick look at the biography of the author. Nelson Mandela. Born on 18 July 1918, Nelson Mandela was an African anti-apartheid revolutionary, lawyer, political leader and philanthropist who served as President of South Africa from 1994 to 1999. His government focused on dismantling the legacy of apartheid by tackling institutionalized racism and fostering racial reconciliation. Ideologically an African nationalist and socialist, he served as the president of the African National Congress Party from 1991 to 1997. Mandela received more than 260 awards over 40 years, most notably the Nobel Peace Prize in 1993. He wrote his autobiography Long Walk to Freedom after becoming the first black president of South Africa, which was published in 1994 by Little Brown and Company. The book profiles his early life, coming of age, education, and 27 years of imprisonment. Mandela last breath on 5th December 2013. Now, let's understand the chapter in detail. Mandela sworn in as the first black head of state, South Africa. It was after years of a struggle that his anti-racist party came into power. Until then, the seat had always been occupied by white presidents. That is why the author referred to the day as bright and clear. It was a morning full of hope. Days before this date, many notable personalities started congratulating him for his victory. For the first time in the country's history, so many international leaders came together for the inauguration ceremony. The ceremony took place on an open circular building made of sandstone, consisting of union buildings in the Pretoria city. The author was accompanied by his daughter Zenani on his big day. First, the two vice presidents took the oath. Then, when his turn came, he committed to respect, protect, and abide by the Constitution and to devote his entire self into the welfare of the country. The author also mentions some parts of his speech where he said that everyone, by his presence, was giving rise to hope for a new beginning. Previous rulers were discriminatory and lasted for long, but the ones who are given the opportunity to rule, that is ANC, would stand up against discrimination. He is glad to host a ceremony with the presence of global leaders. It is an achievement in itself. There was a time when South Africa, for practicing apartheid, lost all its international political relationships. Now, when there is no segregation on the basis of race and gender, other nations are happy to have healthy democratic relationships. Finally, they have come to power and they pledge to make everyone proud. He thanked everyone, especially the international leaders, for joining them in celebrating their achievement, which is a big step towards an equal society where every human will be treated fairly. He mentions that after great struggle, they have finally achieved political freedom. His government promised to free everyone of the still existing power. Just after the newly elected president's address to the audience, an impressive arrangement of fighter jets, helicopter, and soldier transporters raised everyone's head up towards the sky. It symbolized perfection as well as military's respect and obedience towards the free country. The high commanders, who have won medals for their bravery, also saluted and promised their loyalty. Mandela mentions that he was well aware that these commanders who were now saluting him would have arrested him under the previous rule, as during the oppressive white supremacy he was considered to be a criminal. The issue finally ended by making off the South African flag in the sky from smoke beneath the jets. The author remembers the day as the playing of two national anthems of the country, one of the whites and the other, that of the blacks. On that day, no one knew the wordings of the anthem of the blacks, but Mandela was confident that everyone would soon learn this anthem that they hated earlier. On the day of remembering the days of the past when this whole system of apartheid emerged, it resulted in inequality and inferior treatment of dark-skinned people. They were deprived of their basic fundamental rights. As a result, one of the world's most brutal and inhumane society was born. This began even before he was born. This system created an atmosphere of extreme cruelty and injustice for a particular part of the community. Now, when he is in his 8th decade as a man, he, along with countless others, have changed this entire system that treats humans as humans irrespective of their color, caste, gender, or age. This equal and free country was a result of sacrifices of countless other men and women who have fought all their lives for this day. The author wishes if he could thank them all, but unfortunately, they did not live to see the result of their courage. Nelson Mandela gathered his courage and power from all these people and thus wishes to make them proud. The oppression policy scarred many people, and it will take a long time for them to move on. The author mentions that this hard time had its negative impacts, but it also exposed a lot of strong and courageous men who stood up and raised their voice. Thus, it required that level of unjust treatment to produce such great heroes. South Africa, he says, is rich in minerals and gems, but its greatest strength lies in its people. Nelson Mandela gained his strength to stand against the wrong from all the great nationalists he mentioned above, who have even risked their lives for freedom and tolerated ill treatment, but never stopped fighting. He learned that courage didn't mean the absence of fear, but the ability to overcome fear. The man who overcomes his fear is called brave. One is taught by its society to hate humans because of their skin color, age, gender, and religion. No one is inborn with hatred. The author's idea is that if people can be taught hatred, they can also be taught love and brotherhood. In their most testing times in prison, when they were being treated brutally, Mandela would see a pinch of humanity and kindness in one of the guards, and that was enough to keep him going. He believes that goodness in human beings can be suppressed but never eliminated. According to the author, every human being has its responsibility towards the family as well as the society. Generally, under normal circumstances, a person can maintain the balance between the two. But in countries like Africa, it was never so easy. When a person of color would come up for his society, he would be arrested and taken away from his family, thus keeping them from fulfilling both responsibilities. In the beginning, Mandela did not put his people over his family, but it was only later when he realized that in order to be there for his people, he was compromising his duties towards his own family. The author did not have the plan to stand against the apartheid system early in life. He lived his childhood like any normal child in South Africa. He only had to follow the rules set up by his father or the customs of his tribe. As soon as he grew up and began to learn the facts as to how people of color are treated, he decided to stand against it. He had this urge for freedom from inside, earlier just for himself, and later for having a basic life not just for himself but for everyone. In Johannesburg, they had to struggle for having a peaceful marriage, family, and basic amenities which everyone has access to where law and order exists. Nelson Mandela joined the African National Congress when he realized it is not only him whose basic rights were snatched away, but of all those who looked like him. He had this fire inside him to free his people from this injustice. It was this fire that changed the author completely as a man, from being scared to brave, lawyer to one breaking the law, a family man to a man without home and a lively man into being a monk. It was the knowledge that he and his people have restricted freedom that made him into a selfless man as opposed to before. According to him, freedom cannot be divided. Snatching it away from some was equivalent to taking it away from everyone, and that meant taking it away from the author. He mentions that the need to free the oppressor is as high as that of the oppressed, because the oppressor is bounded by the shackles of hatred. He has the weight of all the people who he has tormented, for he carries the curses of all of their families. For taking away someone else's freedom and making them a prisoner, he becomes a prisoner of biasness. Thus, he is robbed of his humanity and needs to be freed. Hope, children, you understood the story Long Walk to Freedom by Nelson Mandela. Thanks for watching the video.